11 Saganishvili versus Devin Larratt is one of those matches where the instant you hear it being announced, you stop and you go, whoa.
Levon Saganishvili is the largest, most powerful human to ever step to the arm wrestling table.
This is arguably the most important, it's definitely the most talked about arm wrestling match in the world.
This shows you the type of man that Devin Larratt is. I mean, he wants the fight that everybody says is impossible for him to win.
Can Devin Larratt pull off the greatest upset in the history of arm wrestling? That's the real question.
It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Levon, you need to get bigger.
Levon has never lost a single round in a super match. He has a perfect record. This match is Levon crushing Devin 6-0.
Devin, you have to get smaller.
One of the most intriguing stylistic matchups the sport has ever seen. On one hand, fundamental brute force power. On the other side, absolute tactician master. A defensive counter-attacking, squeezing the life out of his opponent ability.
If you're betting with your money and your brain, you're going 11. But if you're betting with your heart and you want a comeback story and you want the internet to break and you want talking points from generation to generation, you pick Devin Larratt.
If ever there's an opportunity for the tide to turn, that's, I think, where he'll never get it back.
6-0 Levon. Devin has no chance in hell in this match.
Devin Larratt wins this, and they're probably going to need a silver bullet to solve it.
Without question, the biggest and most important match in arm wrestling history.
I will show him things that he's not seen before. I will.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
and after Devin and Levon, regardless of who wins. But the outcome, the person that does win, is going to push things forward in a certain direction. That is probably more interesting to me than who the winner is going to be. Where are we as a community going to be 3 months after, 6 months after, a year after?
An absolute defining moment for the sport. Devin Larratt, he commands armies of fans from the West. Levon Saginashvili, his loyal followers sit back, watch, and proclaim their superiority from where they stand. This match is going to totally give one side of the arm wrestling world's fans every single piece of evidence they need to stand and not only yell, but proclaim confidently that their region of the world, that their guy is the king of arm wrestling and is truly number one in the world.
But it is one thing for sure, it is going to be one of the best, one of the most talked about matches in arm wrestling history. We're ready, bang!
Levon Saginashvili versus Devin Larratt, King of the Table 4, 25th June, only on pay-per-view.
Hey, and Levon, keep getting bigger, buddy.
Alrighty, ladies and gents, welcome to the biggest arm wrestling match in history, in-depth analysis. What we're going to be going through over the next little while is a very detailed look at a few possibilities for this match. First of all, what we're going to look at is what does this match look like on a technical standpoint if it's Levon Saginashvili dominating. Then we're going to have a look at the other side of the coin. What does the match look like if it's Devin Larratt dominating? What shape will the match take? And finally, and it's hopefully the one that comes to be, because we all want this match to be close, we're going to have a look at how this match could unfold in a technical analysis and standpoint sort of view if the match goes to a silver bullet, if the match is right down to the wire. That's what we're going to have a look at now, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the in-depth analysis of what is undeniably the biggest arm wrestling match in history. Okay, so to kick this one off, let's have a look at Levon's match up against Dmitry Trubin of Russia in 2018 at the Vendetta 50. Now, you can see here straight away round one. This is fresh versus fresh. This is when Dmitry's at his most dangerous and Levon is pushed to his maximum. You can see Dmitry getting a good start, but Levon catching and reversing, getting control of the hand and wrist through great use of bicep strength before proceeding to the side to get the victory. Now, let's have a look at it in slow motion. You'll see that Dmitry Trubin has the high ground. He goes on the attack. It's the bicep defense and pronation defense of Levon. He then rises up, gets on his tricep, slides his elbow forward using solid static bicep pressure, which is going to come up in a moment. You can see him gaining control here. There's the movement there. The elbow comes forward. The hand gets high. The regroup happens. Now he has hand control and can add the side pressure, takes the wrist, gets the victory. That foundation there he'll use again. Outside of straps, unable to yet hold on to Dmitry Trubin. But once in straps again, he's starting to get dominant. There's that catch and defend with the pronation and the bicep. In the slow motion replay, you'll see it. Catches with bicep strength and pronation, more so than fingers. Then slides his elbow forward, gains height, takes the wrist, adds side pressure. Once again, the same formula being used. Now that the momentum is starting to turn, you'll see the replay there. He no longer needs to grip high. He's gripping low and can even do it outside the straps, gaining victory over Dmitry Trubin in a decisive manner. Now, what's interesting about the style that we just saw from Levon against Dmitry is the fact that he really does catch from the beginning with solid threat through the bicep and pronation. We don't see Levon containing with fingers, not until the later rounds, once he feels his opponent has exhausted their energy, has lost their threat from center. Then Levon starts to go on the attack and control. He grips lower and is even happy to hold on out of straps. But very interestingly, and most importantly, is what he does off the go in the early rounds. This is going to be critical come this match with Devin Larratt. Levon defends with bicep and pronation. He doesn't attack, he defends. Now let's fast forward to September of 2021 with Levon's most recent super match against USA's Dave Chaffee. Now Dave Chaffee, first of all, you have to recognize is one of the strongest humans in arm wrestling. There's a distinct evolution to Levon's game as we look at the slow motion replay here of the opening round. And that evolution is he now trusts his hand. Where against Dmitry Trubin, we saw him rising and pronating as his main defense. Levan now holds on right from the get-go. He trusts his fingers, and even against someone as strong as Dave Chafee, you can see here, look at him holding on. Dave Chafee tries to rise and pronate, but it's the finger control combined with the back pressure, bicep, and pronation that just overwhelms his opponent. Levan Saginashvili has most definitely upgraded since 2018. You can see the way he trusts his hand inherently, where he never used to do that at all. Dave Chafee here, you see, even in an open arm top roll, gives it his best, but Levan Saginashvili holds on, gets the job done. It's for this reason that Levan is the overwhelming favorite. His fundamental power, his bicep strength, his pronation, and now his wrist flexion and fingers truly are the top of the sport. There's no denying that. No one in the history of arm wrestling has ever defeated Dave Chafee in the manner in which Levan did in 2021. That victory sets him apart from everybody. And it's that victory, in the fashion that he did it, so dominantly, that has made almost everyone worldwide agree that Levan truly is the number one. One of the most interesting points is the fact that no matter what Dave Chafee did, he was unable to slip. Now, think forward now to Devin Larratt. This man is a wizard who has relied heavily on the strap. Levan Saginashvili, in most people's opinions, will have no intent on allowing Devin Larratt to get where he needs to be. And it's once again one of the main reasons why Levan is such an overwhelming favorite in this match. So let's now turn our attention to the underdog. Let's now turn our attention to the man who's looking to pull off the absolute miracle in this match, Devin Larratt. Let's have a look at his style and see what he is going to bring to this fight. So let's start in Arm Wars 2011, where Devin Larratt takes on Richard Lupkes, a similar-sized human. You'll see here outside of straps, he uses a very similar strategy to Levan to get to the straps themselves. He rises hard using his bicep. He uses pronation statically through the hand, and once that gets the brakes on his opponent's side pressure, you'll see the twisting in the hands start to pronate, and they'll mutually slip, and off to the straps we go. Now, once in the straps, Devin Larratt displays one of his many weapons, a high posted and then supinated high hook. You'll notice there from the beginning he took control of the high ground. Now that he's got control of the rotation in that high hook, he's still unable to pin Richard Lupkes. Lupkes has so much fundamental strength that he still has a wall in the way, but Devin Larratt is in a position where you'll see him start to nod and smile because he knows he's breaking down that man's defense with every second that remains. The critical moments you'll see here as he demonstrates the high hook, the supination comes from a place of high static threat through back pressure. Once he gets into that position, he sets an amazing ability to out-rotate his opponent. From there, Devin Larratt takes control of his opponent's ability to breathe. He takes control of his opponent's ability to counterattack, and he just puts up a wall, a defensive wall at the center table that inevitably his opponent feels that squeeze happening. That Python-like squeeze. Devin Larratt starts to smile. And look, this is just one of the many technical weapons he possesses. So right there, we've seen that Devin Larratt certainly possesses a very capable high hook, coming from a place where he posts incredibly high, wrist rise up, he takes control of the high ground. Off the go in the straps, he keeps these knuckles up and he supinates and allows his opponent to crash sideways into that defensive high hook. If successful, Devin Larratt takes control of the rotation and then he adds his shoulder pressure to it, cutting off the ability for his opponent to rotate or pronate through their hand. That puts the inevitable bleed on their opponent's bicep. Devin Larratt looks at them, smiles, waits for them to bleed, and then finishes them off. As we're saying, this is just one of the options that he has. A lot of people say this option will not be used against Levan. Levan is simply too powerful for Devin to first of all even get to that position. But it is a weapon he possesses. Keep your eye out for it in the matches because it could come out to play. Now let's have a look at another weapon that Devin possesses. Now what is probably the most controversial of all of the tactics and styles in arm wrestling. Devin Larratt possesses a King's Move. You can see him here up against John Brzenk. The King's Move is a absolute red line defensive position. The most defensive of all outside style arm wrestling. You see Devin Larratt off the go will actually allow his opponent to go sideways. He'll kick back his wrist and pronate and then climb and every opportunity and eventually start to take control. His opponent will feel that defensive power and concede. Slow motion replay, watch it again. From the high position, he will allow his opponent to go sideways. He won't try to cup his wrist, but he'll in fact kick his wrist back negatively. And then as his opponent drives, watch Devin pronate through the base of his wrist as he kicks his wrist back there. You can see his wrist goes back. He pronates through the base of his wrist and drags hard, very low, 1 inch away from defeat. Devin Larratt goes on from there. As I said, every opportunity he'll climb and regrip and cup, taking control of his opponent's wrist and pronation, and subsequently showing them that they are going to lose the long battle if they continue to attempt to arm wrestle. You can see there John Brzenk looking to come forward. Nothing there left for him. Devin Larratt's in control and his opponent concedes. Now, as I was saying, this is the most controversial of all of the arm wrestling moves out there. Devin Larratt has invested a lot of time and energy into this style of arm wrestling in the last 4 to 5 years. It is something that most fans expect him to do. It's where we expect him to attempt to bleed the hand and wrist of Levan Saginashvili. Does Levan worry about this move? Some say yes, some say no, but Devin Larratt, you can almost feel that he is going down this path. He will look to create a stop in the hand and wrist. He will look to create shenanigans. He will look to create as much drama as possible. He'll be hunting that stop. If you can get that stop, he then starts to go to work with all of the fundamental style arm wrestling we saw. The high hook will come back. All those things are possible, but I feel like the most likely stop that Devin Larratt is going to be hunting is going to be with that ugly King's move. Okay, so here are the big 3 questions answered. If Levan Saginashvili dominates this match, it's going to look very pure, very fundamental. Expect back pressure, expect finger containment, expect pronation heavy, expect him trusting himself to hold on to Devin Larratt, not allowing Devin Larratt to slip, not allowing Devin Larratt to even get to the King's move, just finishing him with pure control, fundamental power. Now, on the other hand, if Devin Larratt pulls this off, if he gets a victory, what it's going to look like is shenanigans. What it's going to look like is chaos early, talking to the referee a lot, causing dramas, restarts, fouls, slips, all those sorts of things are music to Devin Larratt's ears. What he will be looking to do is take control of Levan's hand. He will look to bleed his hand and crack his wrist. He's searching for the opening. Expect him to look to use the King's move in the early rounds. If Devin Larratt achieves the stop, he'll look to achieve the stop once, twice, maybe even 3 times before he's confident to stand up and return to fundamentals. If Devin Larratt is going to win this match in a dominant fashion, it's going to be because he's bled out the hand of Levan, and then he's taken control of the rotation of Levan, and then he's finished Levan. Now, what we hope to see. The silver bullet match. Expect it to go something like this. Levan takes the early rounds. Look, Devin's going to throw everything at him. Devin's going to cause that chaos. But Levan, he's good. He's calm. He's still there in control. But he has to slip. He can't hold on to Devin outside of straps in round 1. So he slips. There's a little bit of work going into his hand. He gets into the straps. Too much power. Boom. Job done. Big celebrations. Round 2 comes back. Devin Larratt's in his ear. He's calling him up to the table. Once again, gets him onto the table. Same thing again. Slips out of straps. This time, the balance of the hands doesn't look as dominant for Levan. But round 2, in straps. Once again, Devin attempts the King's move. This time, you can see flattening of the wrist of Levan. But still, gets the job done. 2-0. Third round comes around again. Devin Larratt knows that he's really having to get some inroads in now. Devin Larratt starts to employ shenanigans again. He goes early, he cops fouls, he cops warnings. Levan getting frustrated. Devin Larratt extending the setup for as long as he can, pushing the bounds of the rules. Slips. Once again, Devin Larratt's hand starting to look better in the straps. King's move, stop. King's move, stop. But still, Devin can't get back. Devin ends up losing the round because Levan, with his wrist broken back, flop presses. Now, with Devin's back entirely against the wall, we're going to start to see the ability for the bleed to be successful. Devin Larratt, King's moves, gets the ground, starts to regrip, starts to climb, starts to bring the match back over, starts to talk to Levan and say, hey, big boy, what is going on? Where's that tank? Where's that energy? It's bled out. You're in trouble. The chatter begins. Devin Larratt gets on the board. As the rounds go on, then Devin gets more and more likely to use the high hook. As he feels he's got control of the hand of Levan, he'll look to then control the rotation, control center, and then ultimately decisively win the match. But when this gets to the silver bullet, Levan is a very intelligent, high table IQ arm wrestler as well. Don't expect Levan not to have adjustments. Devin Larratt will be coming home with a wet sail. Levan will know that. Levan will have an ace up his sleeve. Levan will he flop press to look for that last victory whilst Devin Larratt is trying for a King's move to control center? Will he have his own King's move? Will Levan just feign weakness in the setup to then launch an all-out drag hook? What can be certain is if the match does go to a silver bullet, it's anyone's game. Just because Devin Larratt has come home with a wet sail does not mean he is certain to win the 7th round. If it goes to the silver bullet, expect drama. Expect absolute arm wrestling drama as good as it gets. And that, my friends, is exactly where I hope it goes. Levan Saganishvili versus Devin Larratt is one of those matches where the instant you hear it being announced, you stop and you go, whoa.
Levan Saganishvili is the largest, most powerful human to ever step to the arm wrestling table.
This is arguably the most important, it's definitely the most talked about arm wrestling match in the world.
This shows you the type of man that Devin Larratt is. I mean, he wants the fight that everybody says is impossible for him to win.
Can Devin Larratt pull off the greatest upset in the history of arm wrestling? That's the real question.
It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Levan, you need to get bigger.
Levan has never lost a single round in a super match. He has a perfect record. This match is Levan crushing Devin 6-0.
Devin, you have to get smaller.
One of the most intriguing stylistic matchups the sport has ever seen. On one hand, fundamental brute force power. On the other side, absolute tactician master. A defensive counter-attacking, squeezing the life out of his opponent ability.
If you're betting with your money and your brain, you're going 11. But if you're betting with your heart and you want a comeback story and you want the internet to break and you want talking points from generation to generation, you pick Devin Larratt.
If ever there's an opportunity for the tide to turn, that's, I think, where he'll never get it back.
6-0 Levan. Devin has no chance in hell in this match.
Devin Larratt wins this, and they're probably going to need a silver bullet to solve it.
Without question, the biggest and most important match in arm wrestling history.
I will show him things that he's not seen before. I will.
Devin Larratt may well be the most complex arm wrestler alive, but Levan Saganishvili is another level of power. What he can move in the gym, what he can move on the table, this guy is not like everyone else. This guy is different. This guy is an absolute freight train.
Levan is the absolute epitome of a monster at the top of the mountain of the world of arm wrestling. This guy has never lost a single round in an arm wrestling super match. He is an absolute monster when it comes to arm wrestling. He is the king, he is the god, he is the ruler of all others. For Devin Larratt to even have a chance at winning a single round, it is going to take absolutely everything he has and almost a miracle.
Devin Larratt versus Levan Saganishvili. The match that is much more than just a match. The match that pits one side of the world versus the other. One way of thinking versus the other.
It has divided the whole world, the whole internet, whatever side you choose in this battle. It has almost become pure hatred on the other side. Is Levan, arguably the strongest arm wrestler to ever be on the table, able to conquer Devin Larratt? Or is it Devin can do what no other person can do? Not only take a round off Levan, but win the match.
Everybody's beatable. Everybody's beatable. Levan is incredible. He is what this modern peak of arm wrestling represents.
Devon Larratt.
Devon Larratt, yeah. Everyone wants Devon Larratt, yeah.
Yes.
You know, where Levan is at in terms of his legacy in the sport is a truly phenomenal place. He doesn't have many more things left to do on the list to establish what is one of the most impressive legacies ever in the sport. The man has gone undefeated in his supermatch career after rising to the top through WAF tournaments, and he has looked untouchable since. What he is wishing for in facing Devin Larratt is somewhat seen as the final test. It's somewhat seen as that, okay, can you defeat? Devin Larratt is the wizard of arm wrestling. He is the ultra-spiritual athlete who has never stopped searching for greater and deeper levels of technique and mastery in the sport. If Levan Saganishvili can conquer Devin Larratt, his legacy is set in stone.
Devin Larratt versus Levan Saganishvili is a very important match, not just for the outcome, but as a turning point potentially for the arm wrestling community. You're going to have before Devin and Levan and after Devin and Levan, regardless of who wins. But the outcome, the person that does win, is going to push things forward in a certain direction. That is probably more interesting to me than who the winner is going to be. Where are we as a community going to be 3 months after, 6 months after, a year after?
An absolute defining moment for the sport. Devin Larratt, he commands armies of fans from the West. Levan Saganishvili, his loyal followers sit back, watch, and proclaim their superiority from where they stand. This match is going to totally give one side of the arm wrestling world's fans every single piece of evidence they need to stand and not only yell, but proclaim confidently that their region of the world, that their guy is the king of arm wrestling and is truly number one in the world.
But it is one thing for sure, it is going to be one of the best, one of the most talked about matches in arm wrestling history. We're ready, bang!
Levan Saganishvili versus Devin Larratt, King of the Table 4, 25th June, only on pay-per-view.
Hey, and Levan, keep getting bigger, buddy.